Before we get started, we open on the moonlit waves of the open ocean, rolling across the landscape. We see a lone vessel, a galleon, a pirate ship that bobs in the waves, lit with some lanterns on its deck amidst the starry sky and otherwise empty expanse. At the bottom of the screen, the text says, "The Caribbean, 1834." Groups of dinghies begin to silently pad across the water, coming into frame, all of them converging on the pirate ship. Each boat is filled with naval men and women, crouched low, looking forward, weapons at the ready, trying not to raise alarm before they can strike. And as these boats reach the edge and the naval officers begin to board, shouts of alarm, gunshots, the clash of steel on steel as sword fights break out, the nighttime boarding action by the Royal Navy to raid this ship goes off in full. Amidst the chaos, we follow one man. We only see his back. The fit of his naval uniform emphasizes his capable body, his broad shouldered physique. He single handedly kills 6 pirates amidst all of the fighting. And swinging down from a rope in classic swashbuckling fashion, we see a young woman no older than 16, bedecked with finery and wearing a sapphire choker. The pirate queen of Barbuda, Theodora Brathwaite, engages in a sword duel with this man. It goes on. It is legendary. It is thrilling. And it ends in an absolute and perfect draw. Both participants exhausted, hardly wounded, but acknowledging each other's capability. And Theodora looks up at this man and says, "Well, Lieutenant Flag, I suppose I should surrender then." And we see a young Lieutenant Thaddeus Flag escorting the pirate queen off her ship. And we pick up back in the present day. Day phase time. Let's introduce another threat. We have 2 active threats, the St. Petersburg Mirror and the Pinkerton. We'll talk about those in a moment. But the work never stops. Figs, pigs. Count Potiphar, your most beloved. The Fig family sent you one of their famous Figs pigs, a meat pie with a little pig stamped on the crest or the crust. You enjoyed the first few bites before realizing it contained human meat. What gave it away?
What I first took to be just a bit of pigskin is actually a thumbprint. This is not kosher meat right here. This is human meat.
It wouldn't be kosher if it was pork anyway.
Not kosher indeed.
You called Scotland Yard, and Mr. Fig was arrested. His wife and 2 sons managed to escape capture. Mr. Fig is being held at Bethlehem Royal Hospital. He won't tell the inspectors anything about where his family might be, though he has been singing a little song about them. Sing a song of 3 figs, the apples of my eye. Snatch a bunch of long pigs and bake them into pies. First comes little Patrick, about on paw or hoof. He thinks he is an animal and has since troubled youth. Obert the blade has fine taste, more than most I know. It has to be the right pig, see. The meat must be just so. My love, la bella Hortensia, the gravy to my crust, to hold that which she loved and lost, she'll do what she must. Sing a song of 3 figs, their names you all now know. You'll see them down old London town, and in the sack you'll go. Amazingly, Scotland Yard has asked for Hargrave House's help in capturing the figs. They want to keep the investigation of the figs pie shop in London or in Shoreditch fairly quiet without official police presence, as so as not to set off a pie hysteria throughout the city. You have come to the conclusion that Mr. Fig's song is a guide for how to find the other figs. It has helped you form some questions, the answers to which will lead to their capture. The 3 questions for Fig's pigs are each complexity 2. What kind of animal does Patrick Fig think he is? So you may then lure him and then capture or destroy him. What type of victim does Obert Fig prefer? So then you can lure him to you and then capture or destroy him. And what did La Hortensia Fig lose that she's trying to recapture or remember? So you can find her and then capture or destroy her. All 3 figs must be captured and or destroyed for this threat to be resolved. So all 3 of these questions must be answered. There is the Mask of the Pig available for this, which I will add now because I simply forgot to. Each hunter narrates a dream about the pagan swine god Moch. Did Moch demand a sacrifice of riches, status, or blood? What did they each sacrifice? I'll add that to our character keeper here in a moment. With that said, we have 3 threats active now. The Pinkerton has 3 clues available on it, and the St. Petersburg Mirror has 2 clues available. We had previously decided that the St. Petersburg Mirror itself is genuine. It is a true and honest object of power. Let's review the state of our hunters and then find out what we will be doing today. 3 of them aren't looking so hot. Ross Fletcher, you have 3 conditions: drained, drawn to the void, and marked by Elsie Tanner. Elsie Tanner, the assistant to Madame Sorokin. You had quite a busy, emotionally tiring day previously, if I recall. What did you get up to?
Um, Last session I went and saw Madame Sorokin, and boy oh boy, did she show me what that mirror do.
Sure
Had a bit of
did.
an emotional moment remembering my past. And I think with that, because especially because Elsie has marked me, I think I'm going to. I know the real problem out there for Ross is the Pinkerton, so I think he's gonna try and get that resolved.
Good to know. Dame Chanterelle, you're stacked up as well. You have suffered a knife wound. You are a vindictive cunt, and you are watched by the boy. You had a really bad time last time. Can you tell us about it?
Phenomenally bad. I mean, my day phase went quite well. I went and talked to my good friend, Lady Cressida Bachelor House, to get on some information about the St. Petersburg Mirror. And in doing so, had a little run in with, well, I didn't talk to the Vice Admiral, but his young new member of his crew, John, I believe, um, who was very pleased to meet me. That was nice. It was a little ego boost. The dame is in pure mourning, wearing all black, um, after the death of Theodora. But then at the night phase, rotting in bed was to be had. But instead, she wandered the halls of Hargrave House, saw some creepy people in a mirror, in a horrifying scene, and then got stabbed by the boy Kaimani as he tried to kill her. Um,
Indeed.
Most unpleasant.
Most unpleasant. Count Potiphar, you're also stacked with conditions. You have my friend in the sun mask, most beloved and drawn to the void. You also had a really bad day and then a more exciting night. What did you get up to?
So Count Potiphar, ever the self-indulgent pharaoh, has been wallowing in self-pity for a solid month, didn't even bother changing his clothes. Vila Bathory tried to pull him out of his funk to little avail, but managed to get him off his ass long enough to investigate the was it the St. Petersburg Mirror. We did a bit of investigating, tried to talk to Count Vasily Orlov at the Russian embassy, but we returned away. And on our way out, we were accosted by a couple of thugs whom we immediately thrashed and threw in the street. They got run over, and I invoked a mask to protect us from any consequences thereof. We jumped in the cab, and Count Potter shared a vulnerable moment with Violet Bathory and the man in the sun mask, who always manages to show up. And he told us of how the first person who introduced him to London society became somewhat of a love interest of his, so didn't realize it at the time. And he became the cause of her death, though we do not know exactly how. And that guilt and the guilt of all his sins haunts him to this day. And now I think we're on our way back to Hargrave House for the dusk phase. Or did we
Actually,
do
no,
that
we
already?
did that. The nighttime you guys did was you fighting the dudes outside the embassy. So yeah, it is. We're back at Hargrave House. It is daytime. Thank you very much. Meanwhile, Violet Bathory, not a condition on her, totally fine. You actually, I believe it was through killing all of those guys that you cleared your conditions
It's called
because
self-care.
yeah. Yes, because of your soaked in blood ability, you managed to shrug off all of the worries of the world and be fine once more. Indeed, bathed in blood, very true to the Bathory ways. Um, awesome. Well, we're beginning the day phase. I think I think a couple of days has passed since that night, so perhaps Count Potiphar, you were a little bit on the up and up, like since we last saw you, and it's coming back into yourself. And then of course all of this went to hell in a handbasket ever since you bit into human flesh. Definitely not kosher in a pork pie. But this is where we are picking up. So let's go around here, and I'd love to know what you are all interested in tackling today. Starting with Ross, obviously you mentioned wanting to tackle the Pinkerton. Anything else?
If I can get in a vulnerable move with someone, I would love to.
Might be on the table, whether it's with your fellows or with a side character. Perhaps. Dame Chanterelle, what about you?
Yes. The way I see it, the dame is either going to rally herself or sink into the depths of despair even further. I haven't fully decided. She has reorganized her room so that her bed is staring at the window. She has not slept in these days. She is holding a gun, whether for herself or an intruder. She does not know. Um, and I think she's going to slip into sleep and consult Gricko.
Oh, good. It's been a moment. Yeah. Is it Greco? Awesome. Count Potiphar, what about you?
Okay, Count Potiphar is back on his feet, but not back in full spirits.
Sure.
Still sulking about the fact that he's not the god he once thought himself to be. As for taking on challenges, he definitely is pissed about being inadvertently fed human flesh. It's one thing to decorate his room with stretched human skin on the Venus de Milo, but to do something like that offends his sensibilities. He hasn't quite lost his sense of dignity yet. So, I think Figs Pigs is going to be his aim today. Um, as for Dawn questions, he's going to aim to express a clear
Mm.
preference for the beautiful over the mundane, and create an over the top erotic
Setting this up for
experience.
yourself today. Love it.
Yeah, I'm giving myself a challenge here.
If you're interested in pursuing Fig's Pigs, let's talk about this a little bit. Are you going to visit Mr. Fig at the asylum, or are you going to go poke around their shop in Shoreditch?
I think the first thing I would do is talk to Mr.
All
Fig,
right.
see what he has to say, see if I can decipher this nursery rhyme of
Mm-hmm.
his.
Mm-hmm. I love it. And lastly, Vila, what of you?
Hmm. I could continue working on the mirror,
Mm-hmm.
or I suppose I could help you with the Pinkerton, Ross, if you desired help with that. We'll leave Dame Chanterelle to her sleep.
Yeah, I'm down if you want to come
Cool.
help.
Yeah. We can get a vulnerable scene between the two of you, even though
Sure.
Violet Bathory in no way needs one.
Here to help, you
Splendid.
know?
Mm-hmm. Does
To be
Potiphar want to
about.
have, does Potiphar want in on a vulnerable scene? Just because you're stacked with conditions?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, we can fit you into the scene. Um, Potiphar's off to do asylum things, and the two of you are off to deal with the Pinkerton, so we can probably convene before then. I want to start with that actually, before you all split off and go do separate things. As a reminder, whoever is indulgent their vice can speak freely and openly about their past. We have shooting things, modern technology, memento mori, and laudanum on the table. Who do we think is the most likely choice to indulge in the vice between the three of you for this scene?
I mean, Potiphar's daily activities are nothing but vices.
It's quite true.
But I say I'd probably want to warm up shooting, especially with the
Oh
Pinkerton.
yeah, I love that. I like that a lot. So then, Ross, I'll let you set the scene. Also, Kat, pay attention to it. Incredible. Very good. Yes, Ross, go ahead and set the scene, and we can role play from there.
Um, I, I would maybe invite the Dane to this too if she'd because she said she had a gun close to her chest. If she was interested, just gather everybody. Fuck it. But anyways, no, I'd definitely like to get us a early coach and actually head out to where we went last time.
Oh, yeah, the countryside, which is not terribly far from the old grounds of Brathwaite Hall, which certainly doesn't stand much as the same it did before. So no threat out there.
Mm-hmm.
A visit to the country. I don't know, Dame Chanterelle, could your peons convince you to take a trip out to the country after what happened these past few days?
I think initially no, but then they mentioned it's near the Theodora's estate, and she's well. I suppose a bit of fresh air might do me well.
Mm. Then in that case, all hands are on deck. Ross, you get to set the scene upon arrival, and you can describe how things are set up and live in the scene from there. And remember, if you have conditions, be angling to clear them.
Yeah, I think as I do something very similar, but with having Viola here, I set some targets even further in the back, up against the tree lines and whatnot. As I set up a little bit of a station for us all, and I'm like, all right, everybody, we did this a few times, one other time before, but everyone grab your guns. Hargrave House has been under attack, and well, I hate to say it, things are getting even more dangerous, even with Theodora being gone.
Count Potiphar's attendants are notably standing further back than the last time you came to the shooting range.
Firearms? How terribly American. Haven't used one of these in ages.
Well, if you need a little bit of help, I can help you. We got a couple rifles and pistols, and the old six shooter is what I tend to go for.
Oh, I might be a bit rusty. I'm not sure. And then she'll pick up a gun and kind of like gunslinger swing it around her finger before pointing it. Or perhaps I remember.
You, I say you
Just
look.
for that, Violet Bathory, mark Hunt X.
I say you look like you haven't lost any bit of your touch. And what about you, Dame? You looking kind of well. Why don't you just pick up a gun and shoot something? I know that makes me feel better about things.
The dame looks terrible. The bags are heavy. I think she's standing under an umbrella, black shawl still. She, yes, very well. She'll sit down the umbrella, pick up a rifle, take like a half-hearted shot at a target. I think it hits, although it's not particularly on aim.
Oh, come on now, Dame. You were hitting dead on last time.
I suppose I'm just not in much of a mood for shooting. Knife wound in my side and all.
Okay. I kind of look at him like, what the fuck? Dame,
Yes, I was stabbed.
sit down and drink your damn gin.
Yes, I think I will.
I didn't realize you had gonna cause an open wound right now. Damn it. I'm trying to have fun over here shooting. I can't have you bleeding out.
It wasn't me, was it?
No. No, not you.
You okay there, Dame?
I've had better days.
Have one of Potiphar's attendants wrap you up.
Very well. I'll drink my gin.
Better yet, I've got some spare absinthe in the carriage here. Try this.
Oh, yes, a bit of the green fairy.
She never fails to satisfy.
And Count, do you need some help aiming again? I know that last time it was yeah, by the end you were getting it,
Both
but
Potiphar's attendants take 2 steps to the left.
oh, I mean, don't worry, guys. I helped him out. We did another shooting in an alley. I helped him
I
out.
guess
But
I could use a bit of a
guiding
hand.
get behind Potiphar again. Help guide his hand.
Just like so.
Mm-hmm. Just like that. All right, you're gonna aim down the sights, and hey, trigger's a little strong. You want to put a little force in that.
Nice strong squeeze, firm grip
Mm-hmm.
on the gun.
No. Oh, the gun. Sorry. Move my hand.
Should I roll for this?
Yeah, let's do the day move again. What are you afraid of happening here?
Another.
Uh, Same thing as before.
You just shoot another attendant. Yeah, incredible. Do it with composure.
Okay, that's a +1.
Mhm.
That's a total of 6.
You
Does it
goodness.
ricochet off a tree or something?
I know. I think
3
it, like,
ricochets and take out the
no, I
same
think it, like,
person as
I
before.
think like the targets you set up have like they're like, it's like wood and straw padding, and there's like one like like metal part of it that's just like maybe like a cap in it, hits
Mhm.
it, ricochets off the most unlikely of places, and then goes through both attendants' necks as they fall to the ground bleeding.
Damn, 2 for 1. Count.
Count and Potiphar, scar the reflection.
That one was wrapping my wound.
Viola stops shooting and looks over, slings the gun, and like places it back on the table and be like, I suppose I will stitch up the dame then.
Count. Stick with the sword, I think.
The coach driver hops down wordlessly, grabbing a shovel from the undercarriage, and begins digging graves by the roadside next to 2 other upturned mounds of earth from the last time you all were out here, or one
Yeah.
other.
They planned for this.
I can't seem to do anything right these days.
No, I mean you're real good at killing. We need that, but not allies.
The dame stares off wistfully at Theodora's estate in the distance as she gets stitched up.
I was gonna say, Viola will walk over and sort of take off her overcoat, fold it up, lay it down, and roll up her sleeves before she crouches down in front of the dame and pulls out her bottle of laudanum. And she'll like put her hand under your chin and go, "Open up, darling." And give you a couple of drops before being like, "Now, where is this wound?"
Oh, on my side. She sort of, I guess she's wearing a dress. I think she just kind of drops it to the side to give you access.
Viola will casually reposition to shield the dame from the other onlookers, but otherwise not much react as she crouches down. And you're drinking. Are you drinking gin or Potiphar's absinthe?
She's double fisting.
She'll take the gin from you and and go, sorry, darling, we need to clean the wound, and pour it over your side before taking out a one of those curved like cat hook needles, picking it up from the dead attendant's hand, pouring gin over it, and as she begins to stitch up your side and like gently pull with more gentleness than you've really ever seen her Viola use before. She will begin to stitch up your side.
Through the
Are you doing?
stinging. Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say through the stinging of the alcohol, the needle sewing into her flesh, there's a little reaction.
I know it's not the most pleasant feeling, darling, but you've been through worse, am I right?
Oh, certainly. And really, it's just nice to feel something.
Yes, I suppose you seem to be going through worse right now.
Yes, very dreadful. Have you ever seen someone you thought to be dead, dead and gone, would never to come into your life again?
You mean like a ghost? Seen a
No,
fair few phantoms.
no, quite real in the flesh.
Oh. No, unfortunately, everyone I've assumed dead has been, in fact, very much dead.
Well, I think so, at least. Perhaps it was a specter. It's hard to say. The night was
Is
so
that how you
blurry.
got this wound? Because specters don't normally cause this kind of damage.
Yes, I thought the knife really lended itself towards being real. But yes, they crawled in through my window. Um, Truly lucky to have only escaped with the knife wound.
Fine swordswoman such as yourself, taken out by a dagger. It never would have done.
I suppose. But maybe that's how I should have gone. Maybe that's how I will go.
Bit terribly prying if I ask you who came. I'd thought you had dispatched your greatest enemy.
Not someone I considered an enemy, but very dear to me. I suppose I've wronged them terribly.
Hmm. Terribly enough to stab you. You must have done something quite horrible.
She kind of shrugs. She says, "Oh, merely mined their sacred sapphire cave, blew it up, imprisoned them, starved them for weeks. It was all par for the course at the time."
Hmm. Just a Tuesday then. And she kind of ties off your stitching before gently pulling your dress back up over your shoulder and kind of buttoning it up.
Thank you, dear.
Just gal things. Incredible. Let's end the scene there. Obviously, Eric, you can't clear any conditions
Nope.
here, but I'd say that you can add as a parenthetical next to knife wound, sutured.
You're at least not free bleeding
Yeah,
anymore.
you no longer just have an open wound for the last few days. That's like probably you were just like fucking wrapping or something. Ross, what are you clearing?
I'm trying to clear your drained.
Makes sense to me. I take the argument. Count Potiphar, do you think you're able to clear my friend in the sun mask?
I suppose so.
All right. I think it makes sense too. Like there's like a natural conclusion where he's doing his thing. He shows up every so often, but it's no longer a thing worth remarking on. You're a busy man after all. I love it. We're gonna take a 5 minute break. During the break, be thinking about some ideas for a clue for one of our active threats that could have come of this scene. I will see you all in 5 minutes.
Okay.
Count Potiphar, you are paying a visit to Bethlehem Royal Hospital, otherwise known as Bedlam. This place is sometimes surprisingly clean, other times not. Nurses and doctors dash to and fro around you. Wailing and chattering come from deep within. Let's paint the scene, everyone. In your estimation, Are the patients treated well or treated poorly? Why do you think this?
I think that the patients are treated unwell. You'll notice that there's a lot of patients with splints over fingers, and even a arm or two in a sling from a broken collarbone from being tried to be forced into bed.
I will add on to that they are being treated unwell, as select doctors and nurses pass by the patients. Some of them cringe in response, as if expecting physical punishment.
They are treated poorly and kept in unsanitary conditions because as Count Potiphar walks the halls, finally having dressed himself very, very well, with all his usual bedazzling jewels, fine cufflinks, and excellent, well polished shoes, he finds himself stepping over the spilled contents of many a chamber pot that a patient has thrown through the bars to empty it so they can reuse it. And he's just going tiptoeing, jumping over these puddles of human waste.
I think more than half of them are jaundiced, showing that they don't get enough sunlight. And I know it's England, but this is excessive.
Pretty excessive, yeah. I love it. Count Potiphar, you're not alone as you walk down the corridors of Bedlam. You are joined by one of the physicians here, Dr. Rodney Walters. He's a man with a head of luxurious silver hair. He is smoking from a pipe with a Flying Dutchman motif, and he smells extremely clean. And he's leading you down the way towards Titus Fig's cell here, sort of just running the gamut and speaking of his academia accomplishment and aspirations. But Mr. Fig has been mostly non-responsive. He just sings his little song when you ask him anything. Fascinating case, really. I don't think any of the literature has ever covered such. Someone needs to write an article, and it might as well be me, eh?
Well, if anyone's to do it, is certainly a doctor of your accomplishments.
Oh, well, why, thank you, sir. Clearly, Scotland Yard has excellent taste in confidants and cohorts. Yes, yes. Let me just state this up front. It was Mr. Potiphar?
Count Potiphar.
Count, I apologize profusely, sir. Count, allow me to say this. I find the figs fascinating, utterly fascinating. And I would very much like to have the complete set of them under our care here. So I will help in any way I can. I do not wish to be a hindrance. Scotland Yard has their ways, you have yours, and you're working together. But Dr. Walters is happily along the path which gets the results that academia needs at this moment. Which is to say, I would like to see them brought in.
Your enthusiasm is most appreciated and very refreshing. I cannot tell you how many times our work has been hindered by people who simply can't understand that our work is for the good of all.
He just nods and just chews on the end of his pipe a little bit. Eventually, you arrive outside of one of the cells, and he pulls out a ring of keys, slots it into a little lock, and then unlatches like the viewport effectively and swings it open for you to glance inside the cell. There's a tiny little closet of a room, stone walled, a high window deep set in stone, barred with iron. You see a filthy little bucket in one corner and a iron framed bed, filthy mattress. And sitting on the bed is Titus Fig, the man who sent you the pie, the patriarch of the Fig clan. And he is a great ogre of a person, really. He is large, lumpy, rotund, but his hands are so soft and pink. And as he looks up to meet your gaze with a slight smile, he truly has the bluest eyes you've ever seen. And Rodney says, Mr. Fig, this is Count Potiphar. He is here to speak with you. And Rodney looks at you and says, as I mentioned, we have not gotten a peep out of him, or rather, he's not answered any of our questions. But if things are looking a bit hairy, well, I have my orderlies ready and willing to step in if need be. I think for now we can keep the conversation through the viewport. It might not be wise to have a one-on-one arrangement, of course.
Perhaps you're right.
Hmm.
Mr. Fig,
He's just looking at you.
I received your care package. I must say, it was quite the impressive piece of, well, it was impressive, to say the least. Wherever do you come by your ingredients? It is a shame that I can't sample a second helping, but I suppose with your family out of commission, there's no helping it.
And he just maintains silent eye contact with you. What do you do?
Does Count Potiphar know the rhyme that's
Yes, yeah. We can say that you did, yeah.
sing a song of three figs, the apples of my eye. How does it go again?
Snatch a bunch of long pigs and bake them into pies.
Ah, yes, long pigs, long pork, the key ingredient there. Very clever.
I'm going to ask you to make the information move with presence here. No, yeah, actually, yeah, just roll. I was thinking about something, but it doesn't apply.
That is a 9.
9. Clue with a complication. The complication I'll reveal here in a moment. But for now, I'll give you the clue. He just begins to sing the song with you, never breaking eye contact. He stands in his immensity and approaches the viewport. He has to actually stoop down to look into it. Then he begins to slam on the door without saying anything, just looking at you. But do you flinch, Count Potiphar? Do you react in any way?
I've seen far more disturbing things than this monstrosity.
I'm sure you have. Let me see what clue I want to give you first. He looks at you. He doesn't say anything. He has not said anything other than singing the song, and just holds up his hand as if gesturing for you to hold up your hand to the viewport.
And so I shall.
Dr. Walters goes, Count Butterfall, that might not be the best idea. And Titus like leans to press his mouth up against the viewport to where your hand is, and then he just opens his mouth, and a mouse skeleton falls out and lands in your palm, wet with his saliva. And he just smiles at you and turns his back as if to ignore you. That is your clue.
Potiphar takes out a handkerchief,
Dr. Walters,
wraps it up.
yeah. Dr. Walters looks at one of the orderlies and says, "Good heavens, Joffrey, how the hell did he have that in him? I thought we searched the man thoroughly." And the orderly just
How
like,
thoroughly?
so clearly not enough. Fascinating. I wonder if he caught that himself. Fascinating.
Well, this may yield more information than you may realize. I will examine it in greater detail later. Thank you, Mr. Fig. Thank you very much.
Your complication will occur as you're leaving Bedlam, the wailing put behind you. And as you're getting on your way out of here, let me take a look at something real fast. You hear coming down from an alleyway you're passing by a whistling the exact tune of the fig rhyme. Do you go down that alleyway?
I will. Though, as a side note, I on the way out, I will give one of my cards to Dr.
Mm-hmm.
Walters, complimenting him on his luxuriant white hair,
Oh,
asking him what product he uses in it.
oh, just a little bit of pomade, I suppose. I figured that if I was to go grey early, I might as well embrace it. Well, thank you for the card here. I'll be sure to. Clothing optional.
Always optional. Uh, anyway, if I ever have hair of my own, I will be sure to use the same product. Good day
Oh,
to you.
yes. Good day. He's a little flustered, but yeah. So you follow that whistling. As you go down the alleyway, it dead ends. A little open area. There are flies buzzing around here. You can smell the urine and fecal matter that is deposited down from Bedlam in places. And then behind you, we see a figure stepping in to block the alleyway. We'll come back to your scene. The complication there is obviously you're meeting someone that is probably not great for you, but we'll come back to that scene. Dame Chanterelle, when you get back to Hargrave House, you hit the hay for a daytime nap, and you're diving deep. Is this our second or third time getting a visit to Greco? This is our third. Third, which means after this, you will have unlocked a new move, which we'll talk about after this scene. I will pick this scene because I have a great idea for it. I'm going to mark one of these.
I had a good idea too, but
Okay, well,
I wonder if you maybe had the same.
Which one were you thinking of?
The Journey of the Fool.
I was thinking the same one.
Same brain.
Same brain, exactly. The two of you stand at the edge of a cliff, which just descends into utter oblivion, heights unlike any you've ever seen before. It is a sight right out of the English coastal countrysides, but instead of the familiar white sand beaches and stormy gray blue seas, there is only the void. He has prepared for you the journey of the fool from the major arcana of the tarot to step off the cliff into oblivion. But let's paint the scene first. Greco's Dream Tarot features cards not found in a standard deck. Name one of these secret cards. What mysterious aspect of life does it stand for?
I think one of the cards is called The Depths, and it depicts the cliff on one side, but then a great yawning darkness that represents dreams and falling into dreams and the depths of which you can explore.
I think one is called the Earth. I think that this card has to deal with the aspects of life and death, the fact that we come from the earth and we eventually return to it. I think the card itself is only like a cross section of like a rock. It's very plain, very simple, but you do see the lines that you would see in like the side of a mountain.
I imagine one that is called the Blood. Depicted on it is a pumping heart inside an otherwise empty rib cage with drops of blood hanging from the various ribs. And it represents the things that move beneath the surface, that give the pulse of life to things we see around us.
Say one's called The Void, and the card itself has no picture on it, but a seemingly swirling black pattern, and it represents the space between this world and the next.
Dame Chanterelle, you stand at the precipice. You glance off to the side. You see Greco standing there, looking out. Not out, actually, looking down into the yawning mouth of nothing. And he says, "The Fool is a very important card. It represents the beginning of a journey. Unconcerned, unaware perhaps, of the perils of stepping off the cliff. You've lived your life on a knife's edge. But tell me truthfully, do you fear the expanse down there? Do you fear the step that you must take?"
I think the dame sits, her feet dangles off the edge of the cliff as she leans back on her hands. She doesn't look downwards, but she looks out towards the horizon. And she says, "Yes, I've always feared it, and that's why I've always felt I must pursue it. To run from the things that we are afraid of, that is true cowardice. To embrace them."
There are depths below you of such utter beauty and stark horror. The dreaming is a frontier. Its tides can crush you. You truly wish to dive deeper? It's not a question. He's just saying that as an observation.
Gricko, the fool, can one always truly start anew?
Tarot is a representation of mankind's journey, the ascent. All things are changing. All things change. But we are tethered, each of us, to the shadows of our past.
If it is to represent the ascent of humanity, then I suppose then it by extension represents the descent as well. If it is to crush me, then so be it. I was too weak to take the journey ever in the first place. And I think with that, the dame slips off the side of the cliff.
Before you slip off, his hand shoots out and grabs you, and exerting a sudden and unlikely amount of strength from this young 11-year-old boy, just clutching you firmly as his eyes meet yours. And he says, remember these words when you wake. Et samfun of Drumir. Good luck. And he releases you. And you plummet into the void. You fall and you fall and you fall and you you wake up in a cold sweat. Greco's words stick out to you. For reasons you cannot explain, they seem familiar. You rush from your bedroom. You go to the vast, weird library of Hargrave House. And among the books here, you find a tome, indeed, in Norwegian, called Et Samfund av Drumir, a society of dreamers. As you flip through it, the book details a ritual that allows a person, the diver, to enter the dreams of a sleeping individual, the dreamer. The actions of the diver are controlled by other individuals present during the ritual, called guides. I will determine the nature of this ritual whenever we invoke this move, but during the dusk phase, a hunter, any hunter, this is not just Dame Chanterelle who can do this, Dame Chanterelle who's found the knowledge and can guide the others. Any hunter during the dusk phase can declare that they wish to dive into the dreams of a side character throughout the night phase. So long as one other hunter is willing to participate as a guide and you are able to meet the ritual requirements, the dive takes place and lasts the entirety of the night phase. I will not explain the rest of the mechanics until we are actually doing it because it is a lot. So that is now a thing you can do. You can always still visit Greco. But go ahead and give us a little bit of the scene here, Dame Chanterelle, since we've kind of been building up to this for you.
Yeah, I think she wakes in the cold sweat. She rushes out of the room, her sheer nightgown kind of flowing behind her, that she changed into for the middle of the day, of course. As she pulls the book out, almost kind of sticking out from the bookshelf as if it's been waiting for her. She pulls it onto the table, reads it, realizes that there is yet more to explore. Greco has shown her the way, but now she can guide herself. She can guide others. I think she takes back to her room. She shuts the window that has remained open this entire time. And I think she gets dressed for the first time in a nice gown. She looks to a disheveled heap in a corner where she sees the olive green shawl she is so known for, slips off the black shawl of mourning and lamenting, and dons the olive shawl once again.
Hell yeah. Oh my God. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Actually,
Costume change, bitches.
costume change, motherfuckers.
That's a bit better.
She's back and bitchier than ever.
Now she's a vindictive cunt and can
Now
really
she's
lean
just a
into it.
vindictive. Yep. Oh my God. Love it. That was splendid. Thank you for the costume change. I needed that. I love feeling like I'm getting riled up watching an 18 season show I love dearly. So let's go check in with Viola and Ross, who are poking into this Pinkerton business. Well, Ross, this is what you wanted to handle. So what is your approach here? Are you going to where Winslow is staying in London, or you have some other idea in mind?
I do think I'm going to go. I know what hotel he's staying at, so I think I'm going to go search around that area as I'm trying to. He's not here just for me. It can't be. There's got to be something else. Like, it's too much to just send one person, send a Pinkerton just to get me, or something's gone bad. So I think he's here for ulterior motive. So I'm gonna try and snoop around, maybe talk to some seedier folks.
Yeah, poking around where he's staying. You said.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I love it. Give me just a minute here. Yes. The Langham Hotel is a newer hotel in the city. It's here in the West End. It's not terribly too bad. It's a nice area. But even if you're poking around the area, let's still talk about the Langham Hotel. It's a sort of touchstone. There are great piles of luggage in the lobby. Gentlemen engage in rapt conversation from comfy lobby chairs. And what do we see that shows how the hotel is putting its best foot forward?
I think there are a lot of chairs in the lobby that are of a very deep mahogany and like red velvet with little gold buttons that keep uh the cloth all in place.
There are too many attendants, almost. There's a front clerk, an elevator operator, a door holder, multiple bellhops. You should not have to look. You could throw a stone and hit three helpers.
There is a um I'll say like a curtain that you are able to see has like a little mark on it. And as your eye is drawn to it, one of the many attendants here also sees it. And they scurry off to quickly pull the curtain off and get it replaced immediately.
Oh, I love it.
As you look around, absolutely everything is monogrammed with the crest or initials of the hotel, the
Mhm.
napkins, the coasters, the stationery, the
It's a luxurious
bellhops.
cursive L. Nice. But we're not inside the Langham. We're on the streets outside the Langham in the immediate vicinity. And indeed, Vila and Ross, as you're walking around the nearby blocks in the West End, you see a great deal of humanity pressing in from all sides. On one corner, a barbershop quartet fresh off the boat from New York City are performing a delightful rendition of Tramp, 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 a popular song during the recently concluded American Civil War.
Hell yeah, that's my jam.
Ross, do you pay any sort of you toss a coin in the hat as
Oh
it
yeah.
were?
I'm just
Hell
like
yeah.
instant like little hold on, Violet. I'll be right back. You're killing it out here, boys.
And this is one of those moments where I wish I could make my voice sound like four different people because they do the four-way harmony of a barbershop quartet being like, "Thank you, sir," just as
Yes.
they tip their little straw hats to you.
I love that. Hell yeah. Ugh, can't get much America in this godforsaken place.
Viola looks at your hat very pointedly and says, I do think you're enough American for us all.
Oh, come on now. Everyone could use a little bit more America in them.
It's just so painfully obvious. And she puts up her hood on her trench and kind of like steps into your shadow.
Yes, Ross, what are you doing now that you're out and about here?
Uh, I think I'm just looking for seedier characters, like
Sure.
more so. I know that there's people who are dealing like probably not directly in front of the hotel, but down maybe a street or two, an
Mhm.
alley. There's someone who's like peddling some underhand laudanum or
Oh,
opium
sure,
off on
sure,
the
sure.
streets, seeing if like
Um,
there's any connection there.
yeah, I'm into it. Now, being in such close proximity to the Langham and poking around this area, I think there's a very real chance that
I'm okay with that.
Taggart might be around somewhere. Are you striding just kind of like without a care about that? Like, oh, let him cross our paths if you want. Or are you trying to like keep low away from him?
I think I'm walking. I think Ross is strutting.
Okay.
I think he's just like at this point, let him come.
Okay. Very good. You go down this alleyway, and indeed, I love the idea of a secondhand laudanum dealer. That sounds fucking terrible. He
Viola
has
palms him a 20 as they pass.
Yes, and he passes you a sizable vial, and he's like, most generous, ma'am. Thank you kindly, ma'am. A fair vial, not the cheap, watered down stuff I give to the others. True and proper. It's in here somewhere. A true and proper bottle for a beautiful lady like you.
She just takes it and keeps walking. Like she's following behind
Mhm.
Ross in such a
Mhm.
way that she's with him, but doesn't want anyone to know that.
Mm. Ross, what do you do?
Hey, you got a nice deal off my friend there, so maybe you could pass some information off to me.
Oh, I'm not a snitch. I don't go around. I don't know
No,
anything.
no, I'm not looking for you to snitch. I'm not looking for you to sell out no one. I'm just been a man going around looking for, well, me.
Uh, a man?
Yeah,
Wait, your
got
hat.
yeah, American like me. Might be in a bit fancier outfit, but uh, anyone asking around for an American, a cowboy like myself?
I you I don't want any trouble. He begins like button up his coat and begin to like hastily like get ready to like walk down the alleyway to get away from you.
Viola appears in front of him on his other side and just grins out from underneath her hood.
She's
He,
just,
he
I'd be scared
yelps.
of her.
He yelps like falls. He's like, what? What? No, no, no! If I can't be seen talking to you, I cannot be seen talking to you.
Oh, so you are in connection. Well, that means I don't mind if you tell him where I am.
More like he actually knows when to shut his fucking trap. And that voice is coming down from the other end of the alleyway as we
Mm.
view behind you, where there is a squat, stout man with this mean, square jawed face just has stepped into the alleyway. He is dressed in a three-piece charcoal suit, red bow tie, a billycock hat, and
You look as put up as ever, you old piece of shit.
he has opened his jacket slightly so you can see the 1848 baby dragoon revolver that he has at the in his holster underneath his coat, and he goes, Ross Fletcher. Well. See,
Ah,
this poor sod here knows exactly the type of people that he should be talking to and the type he should not be talking to. Go on, get out of here. I've already paid you nicely. You can keep your bottles for all I care. And like the dude is like the London merchant is like scrambling along the alleyway, just like
yeah.
trying to strafe around Viola to just book it out of this before anything bad happens. And Winslow Taggart just steps down the alleyway and just says, My, I mean, I gotta admit, I'm sort of offended. I was hoping, expecting even, that you would at least pay me a visit at some point. And here I've been sitting on my ass half the time, getting absolutely nowhere with these fucking heathens.
Uh,
Oh, how do you do, young lady?
that's my compatriot. Don't mind her. Anyways, there, Taggart. Yeah, I figured I'd come and stop by. Maybe, see what you're up to. Because I know you wouldn't just be here for little old me.
I am a loyal servant to the people that pay my contracts. And indeed, your parents have paid an ample sum to see you return safely home. So come on. Why do we got to do this the hard way? You can just come with me. We'll get on a boat, spend some nice few weeks together, shoulder to shoulder. Maybe we'll see one of each other's asses in there. Who knows what'll happen on a boat for 2 months?
Well, it's going to be real hard getting me on that boat.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
Yeah.
Hard way then.
Taggart, you can just go fuck yourself. Do you want to make it a scene or do you just want me to kill you real nice and quick?
You can't fucking kill me, Ross. Because if you do, you know exactly what'll happen to you. You'll have more of my cohorts from the Pinkerton agency swarming to this shore to bring you in on more than just the behest of your parents. You'll be facing criminal charges. You'll be a murderer.
Mm, that doesn't. I don't want that, but at the same time, I fucking hate you.
He turns his gaze back to Violet and he says, I'm just after this bloke here, young lady. I want no trouble with you or your own. But might be wise. Step away from him. Don't shelter him any longer. He's not really the type of sort you want to be hanging around anyway, I'm sure.
Viola looks up at Ross and goes, Christ, I thought your accent was bad.
Yeah,
Can
everyone can't be
decide for
quite as charming as
myself the
me.
kind of company I keep. Thank you ever so much. Why don't you just toddle off or tell us why you're really here?
I was here for him, but I can't deny. Kind of like that I'm here for you too now.
Mm.
Oh, I do have that effect on people.
All right. Have it your way, Ross. Let's just say, for the sake of both of us, I'm going to give you 24 hours to pack your belongings and meet me outside the hotel when I'm ready to check out. If you're not here by sunup, I'm tracking you down and taking you in the hard way.
Taggart, you're so kind to give me a full 24 hours. Uh, Good luck finding me.
And he turns around and walks away.
Sorry about that, Viola. Uh, we're gonna have to get him tonight or find out what the fuck he's really here for.
That man is the physical embodiment of Greece.
Yeah, I gotta agree.
Right. Well, 24 hours to solve a mystery. Have fun. What do we know he's been doing?
Nothing as of yet. I think he's been talking to prostitutes and there's a couple dead ones.
I love women of the night. So helpful. Perhaps we
I,
should go interview them.
yeah, I mean, he did push one out a window. So someone must
So
have
they'll
known
probably
something.
have no loyalty to him. Excellent.
Maybe it's a thought that comes to mind here, Ross. You know who you haven't spoken to in quite some time?
Hmm.
And I'll remind you, she last appeared in Sally No Face. Vera Hale, the prostitute
Yeah.
from Whitechapel.
Oh yes, I did know her.
Mm-hmm.
I got a
Maybe
connection.
there you go. You'll head over there. Count Potiphar. Let's go back to your scene, so I can tell you about the complication that you're facing down right now. The figure has stepped into the alleyway. A nice parallel to the Winslow Taggart scene we just got. And the man who stands in there is actually not really a man of any real age, more of a young man, pushing his late teenage years, early 20s at best. He is dressed in a long, bloody apron, a butcher's apron. He has a black frock coat over top. He has this thin, oily smile as he's just walking down the alleyway towards you, whistling the fig tune. Pardon me, sir. I think our paths have crossed. You're rather
Kind of hard for
dashing, you
them
know
not
that?
to when it's down a narrow alley.
Indeed. You're quite striking, you know that?
So I've been told.
Your
Tell
form
me.
is so supple, perfect even. Your musculature. Oh, I bet your fat tastes beautiful when rendered. And he extends one of his arms, and you watch as a butcher's knife slides out of the sleeve to come to rest in his palm. A long, long butcher's knife. And he just begins to like drag it slightly against the stonework as he continues down the alleyway. He says, I reckon, sir, there are only two states of being: a piglet suckling at the teat of moch, swollen and happy, or food for the trough. Which will you be today, I render? Will you, in all your splendor, join me at the breast of the great Hisao? Or shall we grind up your beautiful blood and bones for the slop?
Believe it or not, there are more than two states of being, but only I, above all others, know them. I draw my sword out of its sheath, the lovely cobra-topped cane, and drag it along the side of the alley as I walk towards him. I have been told by many people what I taste like, but sadly, you will not be free to sample me.
We're all freaking out in the chat. This is great. You're gonna get into a sword fight with Obert Fig. It's the night move with Vitality. What are you afraid of happening here?
Count Potiphar is afraid of being bested in this fight because it would just be such a wound to his pride, which is
That's yes,
so delicate at this moment.
it's worse than that because it won't merely wound your pride, it will fatally wound you, and he will spill your guts on the cobbled streets. Go ahead and roll.
Am I adding anything to it?
It's your vitality, so +1.
Okay, come on, baby. That is 9.
9 total. All right, you'll hold your own. Obert wields his massive knife with surprising grace as the two of you enter this back alley sword fight effectively, the clang of the blades echoing off against the stonework, punctuated by the wails and cries from the inmates of Bedlam every so often. He doesn't even blink or bat an eye. He just continues to flash that thin, oily smile at you as he presses you forward, and you press back. Let's see here. I'm just thinking of what complication I'm going to give you here. Honestly, I feel bad after you already cleared them. I think I'm going to give you a condition, just because you'll sustain some like a minor knife wound. You can take nasty cut as a condition, unless you want to mark a mask. I mean, you'll clear that during the dust phase, I believe, because of unquenchable thirst. But
Yeah, I'll just take the nasty cut,
love
and
it.
it'll be right under the eye
Oh, hell
here,
yeah.
where I've got the Eye of Ra makeup.
Oh, that's fucking sick. But go ahead and narrate the rest of the scene. He will effectively get away. Like, you will hold your own and he'll get away, but you can take the scene from there.
Okay, so we are moving back and forth down this narrow alley fencing match, ducking, bobbing, and weaving, scratching the sides of the walls, knocking bricks aside. He slashes my face. I weave under the arm, slash the back of his leg, which causes him to fall to a knee. Knock him in the back of the head. He rolls forward, jumps up, and is this guy bigger than me?
How tall is Count Potiphar?
Oh, I never really thought about that.
Ballpark it.
Let's see here. Let's put him at 5'10".
Um, I'd say yeah. He's like he's like an even 6 foot. He's like a lanky 6 feet tall.
Okay, so with the cut on his leg, bump on his head, he spins around before I can move the sword around. So he's still inside my guard, and he just kind of piles into me like he's a quarterback, rams me down, knocks me flat on my back, and limps out of the
Mm-hmm.
alley. I clamber back up to all fours and yell after him, "I'll give your regards to your father."
Nice. Hell yeah. Yeah, it's the sword fight and the sexy banter. I mean, like, the fact, listen, the second you said many have known what I taste like, I was just like, fuck, okay. Cool.
There's
We
two
all need
sword
a moment.
lesbians.
Yeah, right. Anyone else need a cigarette? Anyone else need a whew.
So ahead of you. The scream I scrumped.
Yeah. I hate scrubbed. Oh no. Oh god. I'm not a smoker, but I would smoke after that scene. Fuck. Holy shit. Oh, I'm not going to get over scrummed for the rest of the session. That's really just going to be in there now. That has infected my vocabulary. I'm going to be saying the scream I scrumped, and people will ask me why I'm inflicting this on them. Anyway, moving forward with my life and trying to take hold of this sinking ship. We are okay. We're okay. We're hot and we're bothered, but we're okay. Um, it's not the between if everyone isn't a little bit horny. Okay.
God bless.
God bless, right? Thank you, Jason Cordova. And we'll close it there, the scene there. Dame Chanterelle, while you're busy flipping through your book and having your renewed life, you're getting dressed, there is a knock at the front door of Hargrave House.
Who could be calling at this time? It's like 3.
Yes, 3 p.m.
It's like a reasonable time.
It's a very reasonable time.
She frowns with her renewed vigor, and she heads to the door to see who's arrived.
Standing there in his spotless tweed coat, smoking a pipe on your doorstep, is none other than Detective Inspector Pettigrew.
Oh, Detective Inspectors, what do I owe this honor?
Cut the shit, Dame Chanterelle.
What have I done?
He's like striding in past you to enter your foyer.
Yes, please come in.
How the hell did you convince my superiors to get you in on the Fig case? This is an absolute farce. You have no jurisdiction. You hunt weird, supernatural, higgledy-piggledy nonsense gobbledygook, not serial killers. Yes, you got lucky with the No-Face case. But this, what are you trying to make a mockery of me?
More like higgledy-figgledy. I assure
he
you.
He blanches at you. He just...
I assure you, Detective Inspector, I've had no part in this pool. Scotland Yard request came completely unprompted. I have been in my bed lamenting. In fact, I've had a rather severe bout of depression.
Yes, so is half. Yes, half of London is aware of your recent bout of depression, Dame Chanterelle. You've been a shut-in ever since the affair with Theodora, and now, suddenly, as your first outing back in the saddle, as it were, I'm sure as your American compatriot would say, you're pushing in on the Fig case.
The dame frowns. She says,
have I insulted you in some way?
Half of London's known, and nobody sent me flowers.
Yeah, D.I. Pettigrew says, he's just like, what? Have I offended you? Do you wish to continue to embarrass me at every turn? You are out of your depth here.
Well, you wear embarrassment so well. How can I resist?
He's red-faced as he just takes a step forward and he says, do not think for a second that just because you have your lofty title and your means, and I'm not afraid to knock you down a few dozen pegs at the first opportunity.
Oh, all I have is being knighted by the Queen of England and a copious estate and wealth. Whatever will I do with that?
He just huffs and just says, keep your fingers out of the fig pie. Fuck, you've got me doing puns now.
That was dreadful.
As are you. He turned and slams the door behind him, leaving your house.
Unpleasant. I was just it's lucky he caught me in a good mood.
And Viola and Ross, you cross town, find yourself amidst the squalor of Whitechapel, its filthy streets, humanity filling the small tangle of alleyways, shouldering and moving against people. Ross, you take Viola to a corner with many, many women of the night here at the hour of 4 p.m. And Vera Hale is exactly the same as you saw her some months ago, dressed in a nappy velvet gown, far too much rouge on her face, and reeking of cheap liquor. Just using her usual tagline for all the passing gents. Hello, Captain. Would you be interested in docking your ship in my port of call tonight? And then she looks at you and goes, Ross! And seems happy to see you.
Well, Vera, it's been a minute, but boy, oh boy.
I didn't think that you were still here. I thought you were planning to leave.
Oh, well, some people be trying to take me back home, but,
Is
I'm
this
having
your
too much.
missus? She says, looking up at Violet up and down.
Oh, no, 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 not by.
God, no.
Yeah, she's not into the whole uh tough Western man. She
Your
prefers them
bodice.
pretty.
Your bodice is bloody tight. Makes your tits look fantastic.
Thank you.
You're
See, I told
welcome.
you I love women of the night.
Thank you. She just like begins like twirl her hair, being like, I'm Vera Hale. Nice to meet you. Love your accent. You're also some sort of like lord or lady that he serves.
Ah,
Serve.
yeah, basically.
Ah, I see.
Viola Bathory, at your service, darling.
Ah, very nice to meet you. Mwah. Just leaves a smear of rouge on your hand as she kisses the back of yours. Um, and she says, Rossi, I did a favor for the people here some time ago. We had this troublesome killer about business, and I dealt with him right quick. Not sure how that ever actually ended proper. You never came back to tell us. But, I was wondering if I'd see your strapping swagger through this street again.
I love blessing the area, especially after taking care of everything. I actually came here to talk to you, Vera.
Came talk to me. Did you
Uh,
bring
we,
me a gift this time? Flowers or money?
well, I've got you. I'm not a flowers man, but I do got you some of this, and I slip her like an American 20.
She tucks it into her cleavage. You're like, oh my, oh, they got that exchanged.
Yeah, sorry about that. That's all I got on me at the moment. But I've just so happened to catch a sight, an unfortunate one, and I know it happens kind of often, but one of the other ladies recently passed away, fell out a window.
Oh, it's terrible, right? Terrible. I mean, yeah, I can't kind of die by the bundle. No one seems to pay attention. Scotland Yard and the Bobbies certainly don't.
Well, that's why I'm here. Someone hurt one of you. I was here. I took care of y'all before, and I'll do it again. So, a man named Winslow Taggart
Go
came
ahead
through here.
and give us the information move with your presence.
Wonderful. Hey, that's a 10.
It's a 10. You get a clue. And then this will wrap our day phase. Aye. I've heard that name before. Winslow Taggart, American like you, right?
Yeah, from a different area, but it's American.
She like looks left and right down the street, and she says, "I want to keep your voice down, love."
Of course.
Taggart, he's been around these parts before. I've heard from other girls he's been around as well, but I haven't seen him talking to no prostitutes. Talking a lot to the urchins, at least I know, paying them off. Been paying them on the side, on the skinny, real like eyes and ears. And yeah, that is your clue: is that it seems Taggart has been employing street urchins to serve as his spies. And Vera kind of like keeps your voice quiet and just tells you to be careful.
Don't worry. We'll be trying to take care of it real soon.
So, in addition to your American money, do you want to pay me more? We can go have an old roll in the hay.
Unfortunately, I got to take care of this
Oh,
situation.
Ross, you're no fun.
Oh,
Go on,
come
be
on.
with your pretty bodice bearing lady. Go, go, go. It's nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you, darling. And I'll flip her an English coin on the way back, on the way out. I might see you again. And then she'll put up her hood and slip off after Ross.
She like she rolls the coin across her knuckles and says, "I would like that," and she just goes back to her own business.
It's lovely. Not all of your friends are horrible.
Oh no, these ladies over here are great. Actually, part of the reason why we were helping out lost someone in there. She was a good person.
They often are.
Yeah.
And with that, excited. That'll close out our day phase. Well done, everyone. Give yourselves a round of applause. Those were some wonderful scenes we got today. I love this group. Going into the dusk phase. Ross, you know what time it is. You have to roll the quickening.
All right.
But I mean, Are you invoking your hunter in the night for advantage on this?
No.
Okay. Oh, playing dangerous, Reese. Ooh, okay. All
I,
right.
I want to use my last mask.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's fair.
And oh boy, am I gonna need to.
What'd you get?
I got a 3 on the
Got a
dice, and so
3.
with composure, that is 5.
So you're gonna lose control. If you
Mhm.
mark a mask, you'll take drained and you'll be fine. Or you have the option to, well, you've revealed your curse to everyone at this point, but you have the ability to recruit another hunter to help you keep the curse in check throughout the night, in which case neither of you take actions during the night phase. Are you thinking about marking a mask or marking that night phase prompt?
Would someone be willing to do it with me?
Let's revisit that. We'll talk about that here in a moment. We'll talk once we get through a couple other things. Count Potiphar, the dusk passes, and so you will immediately clear Nasty Cut, but you will scar your reflection. How does the masterwork worsen?
The cut that was on my face vanishes and reappears on the tablet in the mausoleum.
Nice.
And it too bleeds a little bit.
Oh, fucking sick. All right, let's talk about this. Are we doing a London night phase, a Hargrave House night phase, or a Hargrave? Yes, I meant London night phase or a Hargrave House night phase.
I think London tonight.
Okay, vote London. London night phase. I will remind folks you did unlock the special night phase for Jenny Johnston, the Mahjong night one, which can be invoked at any time. Doesn't have to be now, but it's always on the table. Dame Chanterelle, you've unlocked it. You've through the group have unlocked a new move. So if anyone wants to do the new dream diving shit, you would declare that action now in the dusk phase, but you would need one other person to accompany you. And obviously, we have Ross here in a bit of a struggle. So let's see what people are interested in doing for their night phase before we determine if anyone wants to assist with Ross, or if you could just say that, if that's what happens, you'll choose to assist Ross.
If not, I'll probably
Sure.
don my mask then.
Yeah. Dame Chanterelle, what were you thinking about getting up to tonight?
Okay. I mean, I wouldn't mind helping Ross, like if I need
Sure.
to, but I do have a bad idea and a worse idea that I'm considering. So,
would you care to expound?
can I think about it and
Sure.
come back to me?
Sure. Count Potiphar, what about you?
Well, I would like to help out with some of the threats we've got, but I've got a dawn question to address. Count Potiphar, after his fight with uh, Albert Fig in the alley, is feeling rather hot and bothered. That really got his blood pumping, and after having enacted his unquenchable thirst, he realized other people just live and die, but I come back. I am not just a man. I am something altogether far superior, God or no. So he's in the mood to indulge one of his favorite vices.
I mean, where's Dr. Van Cleef when you need him?
Exactly.
Indeed. Okay. Yeah, Count Potiphar wants to engage in some carnal experience tonight. I'm into it. Violet, what about you? What ideas are you having?
I'll help Ross.
Okay.
I'm already hanging out with him and I don't mind.
Okay. Hell yeah. Let's read the text here. Because again, if you would rather mark a mask, you're welcome to do so. But let's read the text on the move here. Is reveal your curse to another hunter and ask for their help controlling you through the night. If they agree, neither of you can take any action that would trigger a move during the upcoming night phase, though you should narrate scenes showing how the cursed character is being controlled throughout the night. During the dawn phase, you will each mark one experience. Additionally, They get to define something interesting about your transformation that counts as a clue for the curse. This option can only be chosen once. So we're invoking this. So you guys will get some fun little scenes here between that you can just narrate, be punchy with it. So in that case, Dame Chanterelle, he's covered. What do you want to do with your bad idea or worse idea? What are your thoughts?
Okay. Um, I will not do the self-serving one, and I will do one that may get clues, but is also self-serving. I am going to go to Madame Sorokin, and I'm going to ask her to call the ghost of Theodora.
Alex's face.
Using the sapphire choker as like a medium.
Right on.
Yeah.
Do it.
Like I said, bad idea, worse idea.
Right on.
I like how you were like, it's not self-serving, but I am still gonna see my dead girlfriend.
Dead
Make no
X.
mistake.
Yeah. Incredible. Okay. Does anyone owe a mask narration? Or are we all clear on those right now?
I think we're clear.
I think we're clear. All right, let's pick an unseen for tonight. I think most fittingly, I'm gonna. Man, I want to resist picking Cult of the Pig because it literally is the directly applicable one. No, I will. I will exercise restraint and save that for another day. We will do Madame Morvaine's Boy Tour, powdered princelings and delightful demigods, all agape for your amusement.
Spotify.
Indeed. And this is so we'll have the first one be Eric. The second one will be we'll do Tamara for the second one. And the third one will be for Malachi. Fourth one will be for Kyle. Let's take another quick break here. And when we come back, we will begin this punchy night phase. The night phase. Madame Morvaine's Boy Tour. Powdered princelings and delightful demigods, all agape for your amusement. Madame Morvaine's famous guidebook is a walking tour of all the best male prostitutes in London. Ship Captain Jackson Flint Broadmoor has just come in for a 3-day port of call, the well-worn guidebook clutched beneath his arm. Eric. Prince Louis, powdered, soft, covered in yards of satin and lace, invites Captain Broadmoor into his boudoir. What distinctly feminine touches do we see in Prince Louis's room?
Of course, we see the satin and lace. I think even including more feminine underwear for him. Sort of tucked, one's kind of tastefully hanging off of a mirror, which is also surrounded by flowers. There's a bit of makeup set up in his room. And it's just this like gentle, soft lighting that really invites you to think of the more feminine side of it all.
Count Potiphar, at your townhouse, we see you in your boudoir, garbing yourself or disgarbing, however you wish to present this, for your evening's indulgences. Set the scene for how you plan to engage in the delights of the flesh this evening.
Okay, so I am preparing myself in my private rooms. Makeup, jewelry, minimal clothing, silken robe, golden sandals. I am dressed to the nines as an Egyptian pharaoh, as I once was. Step outside, and the main hall of the upper floors of my townhouse is all bedecked with palm fronds and flowers. Rose water tinkles in a little fountain, and my most devoted followers finally have their master back. They too are bedecked in Egyptian garb with masks resembling animals like the Egyptian gods, and they are engaged in a ritualistic dance around a central altar with a canopy of flowers over it. In a corner, a band plays music that I have not heard in thousands of years.
Ross and Viola, if you'd be so kind as to give us a little scene as we cut back to Hargrave House to see how Viola is helping keep Ross under control as the curse threatens to take him over.
So Violet, when this starts to really get off, I get pretty violent and just start peeling a little bit of my skin off and going, "Oh, that's not good." So this gets pretty violent. I've got some cuffs. They're chained up to the wall, but you've killed a couple of me before. Ah, you can take care
Yes.
of this.
Chains first, sword later, then.
Yeah, please. That'd be helpful. You know anything to help take the edge off?
Well, if we had some powdered silver, maybe. Bit of a nightcap for you. Should keep the worst of it at bay. Let me chain you up and I'll go look.
Shelf in the closet.
And then we cut to Madame Sorokin's parlor, dark and candlelit. Dame Chanterelle, you sit across from her as she outstretches her hands, palms upturned, gesturing for you to place yours into hers. Spirits, hear me. I am a channel for your power, for your voice from beyond the veil of life and death to the other side. I beckon you. I have lit the red candle. Let it be a stand-in for the thinning of the passage. She meets your eyes. Tell me the name of the one you wish to speak to.
The dame is wearing satin gloves, elbow length, a emerald green dress, a pleated sort of style skirt on it, but over top a black bodice, just to embody a little bit of that grief. As she puts her hands on top of Madame Sorokin's, uh, I think first she places sapphire choker onto the table. She puts her hands in Madame Sorokin's and says, "Theodore Brathwaite."
And back to the unseen. Tamara, Anthony the Adonis, whose body is rubbed with golden powder. How do we know Anthony is dying of consumption?
Upon Flint's arrival, he immediately notices that Anthony seems to be smaller than described in his guidebook. While still muscled, it seems as almost they're beginning to atrophy. And even though they've done nothing yet, there's a thin sheen of sweat under the golden paint. After he leaves, Anthony turns, racks with coughs, and coughs up blood into a white handkerchief before stowing it away to prepare for his next guest.
Count Potiphar, your followers worship you. Their hands run along you. They yearn to touch you, for you to touch them. Breath hot. The room is practically steamy. It's practically, no, that's not because of this gathering. The room is hot. And someone begins to yell fire. We see that several curtains, a carpet, a room of yours, of your townhouse, is engulfed in flame. And it's beginning to spread. What do you do, Count Potiphar?
First, I curse myself for leaving all those absinthe bottles lying around. And then I order my followers to gather up whatever water, whatever liquid they can. I start by grabbing a decanter of wine, smash it on the floor to put out the fire. Luckily, it's not high enough proof to catch fire, but that puts out some of it. And one after the other, we all throw whatever we can find in there: water, uh, tea, rose water from the fountain, wine. Bit by bit, it's all put out, but it still smolders.
One of your followers, eager to please his lord, steps forward into the room, not noticing a thin hairline tripwire laid across the door. And for those who've seen Home Alone, as it tugs the tripwire, a rigged knife trap swings down from an overhead arch, slits his throat, blood erupts over the slightly scorched carpeting and veneer of the room he was trying to help save. Blood spilling down his naked torso, reaching for you as if you could save him, and collapses to the floor, twitching and bloodied.
God damn it, slaughter was not the theme of tonight's party.
And then you see it through the window of the burning room on an adjoining rooftop. A figure, a silhouette, crouched and watching, gets up and runs away. What do you do?
Are there any other traps in here at all that I should be worried about?
Make the information move with reason. Disadvantage because you're most beloved, and there definitely are.
Okay, that is 7.
7. You will actually find a clue from this. And we'll come back to that in the following scene. Viola and Ross, continue your evening's affair.
Viola, having gotten the powdered silver off the top shelf, mixes it into a glass with bourbon and hands it to Ross, or well, pours it down Ross's throat and says, "Drink this." And then she goes over and grabs a massive needle and begins to pull like out of a vial. Catching Ross's look at her,
The fuck is
she
that?
shrugs. She shrugs. "Elephant tranquilizer mixed with wolfbane. Won't be pleasant, but you're not going anywhere."
Skin feels like it's on fire. I can't tear it off. Get it in me quick.
And she'll stab it directly into your stomach.
And we cut away. Madame Sorokin's head throws back as she begins to shake. You hear several loud knocks echoing throughout the room. No obvious source. Gauzy curtains flutter in a non-existent breeze as her shoulders shake and she takes a deep breath. Why? Chanterelle.
Theodora. If it is you, I am curious. What was the last gift I gave to you?
Remind me the keeper of the last gift you gave to her was?
It was Detective Fairweather's head in a hat box.
Mm. I suppose that depends on what you view as a gift. But I suppose the answer is the bloody crown of Scotland Yard's finest.
Well, I wouldn't say finest, but how are you, dear?
I walk realms unseen. I have unfinished business with you.
Yes, uh, Theodore, I didn't want it to end like it ended. It I didn't mean for that strike to be the last. I didn't. Without you, I hardly know what I am, Theodora. For heroes, there are trials. For saints, temptations. For me, there's you.
Your eyes are focused on Madame Sorokin's. You don't see in the reflection of the St. Petersburg mirror the slight movement within the reflection only. It is trying to inspire fear in you. Do you succumb or do you try to resist?
I try to resist.
It's the night move. What are you afraid of happening if you lose your nerve?
I am afraid of this thing interrupting my last, presumably, chance to talk to Theodora.
It's worse than that. You will usher forth the absolute floodgates of your secrets, an outpouring of your soul here in Madame Sorokin's parlor. If she's real or not, it does not matter. That blackmail network will find out your darkest secrets. If you wish to continue in the scene, roll with composure. And honestly, disadvantage. Because not only are you watched by the boy, but you're vindictive as fuck. So therefore, I feel like you're not in the best mind space for this.
No, right.
Go ahead and
No,
roll.
that tracks. Oh, okay. I rolled 2 6s and a 4.
Holy
So that
shit.
is 11.
11. Okay, good. We'll come back to you. Back in the unseen, though, Malachi, Gianni, an Italian temple, olive skinned, breathtaking. How do we know Gianni is having the time of his life?
Not only is he an Italian temple, beautiful to behold, he has the voice of an opera singer. He is giving a demonstration of his talents to a small crowd who are staring absolutely enraptured by him. He's standing on top of a stage, perfectly nude, giving a solo with the few customers in front of him. And as he finishes on a high note, Dr. Walters from Bedlam stands up and wipes his mouth. And the whole crowd gives a thunderous applause.
Dame Chanterelle, go ahead and narrate the outcome of holding your composure despite what the mirror is trying to do to you.
Knowing what we know about the mirror um, will influence this scene too. Um, I think the dame sighs a little bit and says, but I suppose It's always been a little lopsided, hasn't it, Theodora? I'm truly so focused on you, but I don't know if I've ever felt that same level of reveration for me. I don't want this conversation ended. She takes out the wooden stake launcher that she never marked during the fight with the vampire and uses it she pulls the trigger and shatters the mirror behind Madame Sorokin. No more distractions, if you will.
Madame Sorokin blinks for a moment. Her expression drops before she says, "The connection is fading, weakening. Quick, whatever you wish to say or whatever you wish to ask, you must do so now."
Theodora, I'm sorry. Goodbye.
Madame Sorokin opens her mouth, but then stops, then it closes. She looks around for a moment. "The spirit is gone. The connection has broken."
Of course, makes sense if the mirror will be fine for the record. I don't apologies, I suppose.
Ross and Viola, resume your scene.
I think I go slack for a moment, for a little while, and then I kind of come to try and continue to tear off my flesh. I go, thank you.
Viola, as you go, like as you pass out, Viola goes across the room and settles herself down with her family sword across her knees. And when you come to, she is singing lightly under her breath in, though you're not super familiar with with Eastern languages, if you were, it's in Hungarian, an old folk song about a boy who cried wolf.
Wake up to that, and I go, it's a lovely song.
Hmm. My mother taught it to me.
Viola, thank you. I don't know what just stuck in my gut, but it's working at least for now.
Of course, it has been so very long since I've had a friend.
Can you do a friend a favor?
I would be honored.
I kind of just take a deep breath and think about the words that are going to come out of my mouth next.
Count Potiphar, as you search the house up and down, the evening's indulgence thoroughly spoiled, you don't find any more dirty traps set to ruin the evening further. You keep thinking on that figure you saw crouched, watching. You could swear they were very tall, feminine, perhaps. This tall woman was missing an arm. La Hortensia Fig, perhaps. All the same, your attention is brought to the fact that several of your velvet cushions are now caked with dried blood. That is a clue. They just seem to be a brownish red, but in fact, it's blood. You're not sure how long that's been there. As for your complication, as you search the house and are certain that there are no further traps laid, you open one room. You find Alexander, Dr. Van Cleef, quite dead. He has been trussed up in an apple stuffed in his mouth like a pig. He looks jaundiced. No, not jaundiced. You realize as you investigate the body of one of your former worshippers that his blood has been drained and replaced with marmalade, dripping saccharine sweet and orange.
I'm so sorry, Dr. Walters. You will not get the family you so desire. They are mine. Well, my boner's gone. Everyone start cleaning up.
Oh, incredible. And now, Kyle. Thomas, a rather plain young man, barely a man, really, who is clean and able. How do we know Thomas is doing this out of desperation?
I think you see that all of his clothes are recently purchased, almost as if Madame Morvain was like, "Here, you don't look good enough, but your body's good enough." See that he's plays the part. Will wrap his arm around uh the ship captain Flint and lean his head on him and be like, "Oh, please, to this room," and like guide him. But as he rests his head on the captain's shoulder and his face kind of goes dark and sullen as he understands this is the easiest way to make money.
Dame Chanterelle, as you see yourself out of the parlor, you pass Miss Elsie Tanner on your way out. She thanks you for your patronage. And as you step back into the misty streets of London, you overhear very briefly a moment of conversation between Madame Sorokin and her assistant. You hear Elsie barely, it's really a whisper. She says, "Sarah, what on earth happened in there?" And the voice that replies is not a thickly accented Russian mystic, but an East End girl who says, I don't know. I, I feel quite tired. Cancel my appointments tomorrow."
How interesting. The dame takes to the streets lighter than she's felt in a while. She feels invigorated and ready to go.
Ross and Viola, conclude your scene.
So, Violet, ain't known you very long, but like you said, you're a good friend. You're a good person. So, I gotta be honest. I'm on my last limbs. I'm fading fast. I'm losing this fight, Violet. I have a feeling here soon I won't be able to control this. As a friend, I trust you to take care of me. And I mean, in the most obvious way. If you can, if it must happen, kill me.
Viola, for the first time, at a loss for a quip, and more serious than you've ever really seen her, looks up, and she's not crying, but her eyes seem to glisten as she says, "So you would like me to finish the hunt Tati sent me on? You've only asked this of me because of who I am.
You're
I
the
do
only.
so hate being a Bathory."
I'm sorry, but you're the only one I can trust to make sure it happens. You really think the Dame and the Count could stop me? Do you really think that? I don't think so. I need it to be you, Viola.
Yours is not a soul I wanted to collect, Ross. But if I must, for you, it will be quick.
Viola, Mark, Hunt, O.
I appreciate it. You're a good person, Viola. Don't let anyone else tell you different.
I'm really not. And then she begins to sing to you again.
I think in those final moments, I'm fighting through the rest of the itch and burn of trying to transform, but it's being subdued by the tranquilizer and wolfsbane and silver powder. I think I just enjoy this moment, actually. It's a moment of pain, but I know that I have an end now, that others will be safe.
And Count Potiphar, as your followers clean the house, where do we find you at the night's end? What thoughts are on your mind?
I go to the window where I saw the one-armed woman. I open it. I search for anything she may have left behind.
You may give us a final information move plus your reason.
10.
You'll get one more clue. In the spot where you saw the woman crouching, I actually like the idea that it wasn't like from a distant rooftop. It was like in your yard. So it was like, it was very close. So you can go out there. And at the spot that she was standing, there is a book laying in the grass. As you flip through it, you see that it is a small book of pressed flowers. On the inside cover, someone has written, "For my little sweet one." And that brings our night phase to a close. Indeed, we do need to talk about. Oh, someone borked the. I got it. I fixed it. We do need the clue from the vulnerable move still. Let's talk about that so we can get that on the table now before I forget. Who has an idea for that clue from the daytime vulnerable scene, and for which threat?
Uh, Kyle and I talked about it a little bit on the break. I don't know if
Mhm.
anyone else had ideas, but maybe like on our way back into town, we hear a rumor that like just for example, maybe mysterious glowing lights from Madame Sorokin's at night.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay, I'm into it. Malachi, Tamara, you agree with that?
Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
solid.
Fuck yeah, add it to the list. Now let's do dawn questions, everyone. Ross,
Yes.
did you experience an echo in the night?
Um, don't think I did. I was trying to get a little something towards. Uh, no, actually, no. I don't think I did.
Well, all the same, go ahead and mark one free XP. You as well, Vila, for the or was it you both mark XP after the scene? I believe so.
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah. So you both get for one free point of XP because of that, assisting him with the transformation. Ross, did you stick out in London society for all the wrong reasons? Yes, you did. With
All the
Taggart,
time.
you certainly did. All the time. That hat, that damn hat. Did you use violence to solve a problem?
I tried to, but I don't think I can just
Yeah,
kill
you
Pinkerton. So,
use threats of violence, but it wasn't really. So I don't think that counts.
Mhm.
So mark an additional point of XP. Dame Chanterelle, did you experience an echo in the night?
Yeah, I detailed the dame wearing lace gloves.
Yes, that's one there. Did you deliver a chilling, dead-eyed monologue about the horrors of the world?
I don't know that I hit my monologue this session.
All right, well then you mark a point of XP, and you certainly advance with that. This is your last advancement.
The final advancement.
Unmark all the checkboxes on the REC. You
It
are
is.
locked and loaded.
I hope you're ready for Hargrave House.
I'm so fucking ready. So fucking ready for this. Count Potiphar. Did you experience an echo in the night?
I think so. We followed a guy through a tour of the various male prostitutes of London, and I had my almost orgy
Yeah.
at my townhouse.
Yeah, indeed. And also, I think just by inclusion of putting Dr. Walters in that and then mentioning him also counts. So, yes, you got an echo. Very nice. Did you express a clear preference for the beautiful over the mundane? Yes, you did. Yes, you made a good show of it. Did you create an ornate, over-the-top erotic experience for someone else's pleasure? You
I
did, and then it
certainly
got
tried.
ruined. Well, you still did it. You created it, and then it got ruined. It's the same deal as like you made the charcuterie board, just no one ate it. But you Mark 3. Hell yeah. And Vila, did you experience an echo in the night?
I think so. I singing in Hungarian softly as opposed to belting in Italian
Oh,
for
that's
a
a cool doubling.
crowd.
Yeah, I'm into it. I'm into it. Did you try to go unnoticed in a public space? Yes, you did. Yeah, I caught that. Cloak up in the shadow. And I caught this right at the tail fucking end. You were sneaky. You did loudly curse your family's name. That was you got it right under the wire there. So Mark
I
3
was
takes.
waiting for a good
I
moment.
know. It was you said it and I was like, well, I know where that came from. All right, take your advancement as well. Solid fucking work, everyone. Um, and before we move on, Vila, you owe us the description of something interesting you noticed about Ross's transformative state during the night that'll count as a clue for the cursed threat if it ever gets introduced. Since you tended to him all night, you noticed something strange.
I'm sorry, I'm being attacked.
Yeah, that cat has been a menace against you tonight.
She really loves to suplex me in the middle
Oh.
of like gaming sessions. It's
Mhm.
her favorite.
Yeah, I'll have a cat here in a few weeks as well, so I'm expecting the same to happen to me. Yeah.
A detail about
If you want,
Yeah,
I can.
just go
I
ahead.
say if you want, I can read off the ones I do have.
yeah, can you?
As a
Yeah.
reminder, yeah, go for it.
So my lycanthropic transformation has a mange-like appearance. It's a bear form. The transformation was slowed by being unconscious. While wearing the veil, my shadow was human. Pieces of me are left over during the transformation, such as tearing off my flesh.
So yeah, you get to define something interesting about his transformation in addition to the other things. Could be a reaction to something that happened as well.
I was gonna say, I think with the addition of being injected with wolfsbane, as your skin was peeling off, it was regenerating before it would peel again.
Oh, that's really good. Okay, fuck yeah. Add it to the list, Ross. Add it to the list. Man, you guys have so many clues for that. That is metal as hell.
Try to just solve it when it comes out.
Yeah,
If it
it's
comes
gonna
out.
pop up and you can just immediately deal with it. It's like bam, locked in.
What problem? Curse who?
Incredible. And I believe and we don't have any lingering Janus masks, so that concludes the dawn phase. Let's go into stars and wishes, everyone. I will start. As I am wont to do, I will say, fucking hell, I love these sessions. Every time we get to play is a treat. This was wonderful. We have really found a solid rhythm as a group. Like we've been like for the past these couple sessions, we get the full day night cycle into like we have it formula and like the pacing is really tight and solid. These scenes are great. I want to shout out just all of Dame Chanterelle's back in action kind of moment, like the swapping out of the shawls that you had prop work ready. That was sick as hell, Eric. I got like actually excited as you were doing that. But I also loved her verbal sparring with the Pettigrew. I'm sorry, but higgledy figgledy, that spiked. I should have expected that, but I didn't. And yeah, good job. Malachi, once again, you have proven that you are the absolute king of like the button on a scene of like the right phrase to say at the exact moment and just being like, well, my boner is gone. Everyone clean up. It's just like terrible scene, comedy beat, amazing. How Potiphar he does such a great job of writing the line between ridiculous and oftentimes imperious and manipulative. Also, I really loved that we got that moment where he was like, I am more than a man. I may not be a god, but I'm something altogether special. I love to see him come back into his state of beauty once again. Um, man, man. Uh, Ross and Violet, y'all were making me emotional during that last scene. Like Tamara and Kyle, you guys were killing that. Um, that was fucking like heartbreaking and like beautiful. Like, sorry, I gotta sneeze.
You're doing tight.
Thank you very much. I mean, like the friendship that's developed between these two characters is so good. Unlike the fact that, like, fucking hell, Tamara, my big star to you is like the knife, the twist of the knife, the gut wrenching comment about like you're asking me to finish like what Tatiana invited me for. I'm like, oh my god, that was great, man. I was losing it. I mean, so many moments in this session just across the board here that I could ramble on and on about as I loved so much of these particular beats. I loved the decision to go to Madame Sorokin for a Theodora like seance. That was great. And then using that as your like part of your like comeback arc, incredible. I got to leave some things for people to talk about during the stars and wishes, so I'm just going to shut up about that because truly, like, I could just go on about every scene that happened today. I love this group. I love the stories we get to tell together. My wishes are I want to see Dame Chanterelle have a face to face conference with Flag, because as the current mastermind of the campaign, like that's a different dynamic. But you know, I'm curious to see what that's gonna look like. I really hope that we do put the cursed in play, Kyle, like because like
Probably going to be next session or the session after.
right, yeah, it's like because the thing is like that's the only possible out you have as a character. Otherwise, you're just gonna fucking die.
Mhm.
So I'm excited to see what decisions get made there. And the same goes for like Dame Chanterelle. Obviously, like I could very much see her expiring before this arc is complete, just because of her mask economy. So one of my big wishes is I can't wait to see like what replacement hunters will enter the narrative. Like for I mean whatever Kyle's gonna play, but like man, because our Hargrave house is so like locked in for me. Like the feeling of these characters, this cast, it is just so good. I'm just, you know, self-fulfilling wish. I definitely want to see more of Lady Antonia this season. And also I really want to know more about the Bathory. So I'm excited to learn more about them because I kind of want to start like dripping them into the narrative. As I learn more about it, I want to kind of like feed back into it. So they just seem awful. Oh, and also we need Harker to come back. So yeah, those are my stars and wishes.
I can go next. I also had a star for Higgledy Figgledy. I was losing my mind. It was so funny. Um, also had a star. A moment for the costume change. It was too good. We all loved it. It was incredible. Um, oh, my last star for Eric was I'm sorry, a star for the "For Me There Is You" reference line. It was so good. Obsessed.
Yeah, full disclosure, I stole that from a. It's not exactly like a girls love anime, but it is, it's one of those ones where it's, yeah, I stole that from an anime. Oops.
Oh, I will interrupt you really quickly, Tamara, just to throw in something real quick. I had a thought earlier. I meant to vocalize it. I'm gonna say it now. Eric and Kyle and Malachi, y'all need to get your asses over to New York to come hang out. I can take you all. I mean, Tamara's already here, but like I can take you all to the Victorian Oscar Wilde themed bar near Union Square, and like we can just
I have heard of this place.
drink cocktails and absinthe and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, don't they have the record for the longest bar in New York or
Yes,
something?
they do. Yes, they do. That bar is fucking long. Like it's impressively long. Yeah. Anyway, that's just me throwing out there. Please come to New York so we can all hang out and go get Victorian drunk.
Hell yeah. I've also heard of this bar. I've never been, but I would love to go with the crew. Um, Star for sexy banter and an orgy as self-care. Um, the whole thing, both scenes were just killing me. They were so good. Um, oh, specifically a note from the orgy, a star for the party's theme was not slaughter. It's so funny. Um, Star for Taggard's accent. I hated it. It was perfect. Thank you so much. And a star for Kyle for being devastating. I'm so mad you want me to kill me, not kill you. Not really. I'm actually so honored. And low-key, my wish is like not necessarily for it to happen, but the scene would be so good. So I guess my wish is also for the curse to come into play because I have to say I'm curious. And yeah, I guess also wish for the inevitable introduction of like more Bathory Beast stuff. Excited for that. And yeah, I think that is. I had a little list. Let me check. Yeah, I think that's mine.
Okay. So I guess I can go next. We pretty much covered all the stuff that I have written down, but Chanterelle's dream with Greco and the mask that that brought out was really cool. And of course, uh, the costume change symbolizing her coming back into the play. That was excellent. Moving into her back and forth with Pettigrew and the punning back and forth was great. Let me see. Ross and Vila's banter, especially with the Pinkerton in there, that was really cool. Let me see. And yeah, basically everyone's night phase was pure bliss. Eric, your idea to do a seance to talk to Dame Chanterelle again. Alex, your reaction to that? Um, Tamara and Kyle, your scene was truly inspired. I was feeling stuff and harkening back to the hunt that she started out with was Chef's Kiss. Let me see. So wishes. Count Potiphar really wishes to go to war with the Fig's pigs. He's not gonna help out the doctor get his collection of pigs to study them anymore. It's far too late for that. Another wish? The mask that we got from Greco, where we can go into dreams. That sounds like a great means of investigation. Really want to check that out. On top of that, I just want to see where all these characters' arcs take them. Fletcher's inevitable demise, Viola Bathory having to do it, Chanterelle working up towards your meeting with Admiral Flag, Count Potiphar. He's just gonna keep on being his delectable self. So yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah, I can go real quick. I mean, again, it's very hard to like not go over everything that was already done, but I will give star to Alex for the scene description for that alleyway fight. He the I'm always terrible at remembering the names on the spot, but
Obert.
Obert, yes. Obert with the knife dragging it across, the like oily smile. Just it was imposing, and then Potiphar, and this is another star for Malachi. Count Potiphar reacting with it, with also dragging his sword. The sword sparks. It had that exciting action scene. It got sexy a little bit there with when you said everyone has had a taste of me, but you won't know what it's like. And that was just, yeah, it was freaking great. For the Dame, of course, everyone has already said, donning your shawl was awesome. My favorite line that you gave Inspector Detective Pettigrew was, "You wear embarrassment so well." God, I just was eating that. That was so good. I was like, oh damn, I'm gonna use that if I can in real life. Um, Viola, just our scenes together, Tamara, our scenes together was great. I think we played really well off of each other. The stab to my gut with Wolfsbane and Elephant Tranquilizer uh, was awesome. The cursing your family right there at the last moments. I don't know. Just I enjoyed having that scene with you. It was a lot of fun. Ross is on his way out. Definitely. I got one more mask and I want to use it, and then I'm gonna go full. I'm probably just gonna die. Become the new threat for us. But yeah, I mean, wishes. Honestly, I'm my wish is to see what you guys do to the cursed, because it's not going to be my. I mean, it will be my problem at some point, but when I'm a different character, it won't be Ross's problem. So I'm looking forward to that. My other wishes are honestly just playing with y'all. I think it's really hard to just not only just be like continuously just saying like I feel like everyone was crushing every single scene. Every It's just so hard. Everyone did great. Thumbs up.
Yeah, I'll finish this up. I have some masks people have or some stars people haven't mentioned, so I love that for me. Tamara, your mask I loved, so good. Big fan. Especially when you mentioned the cousin dragging you back, not so metaphorical chains. The implications of that, so good. A particular star to you for we saw a lot of like gentleness out of Viola that we haven't seen before. She's always so quick with like a barb in a quick thing, but like the scene of her sewing up the dame, and of course the scene at the end with Ross. We're seeing the sides to Viola that I really love. And just like a folk song about the boy who cried wolf, I'm obsessed. Oh my god. Um the and I'll also bring this back around too because we've heard mentions of the old country, so now it feels like that's Hungary. But we're allowed to know what kind of beast the beast is, right? I was just curious. I didn't know if we could get to hear about it.
Kind of, sort of, not really. She can
Okay.
allude to it.
Um, yeah. Kyle, I love a group star for Tamara and Kyle as just like the friendship between Violet and Ross has been like so it feels organic, like the way it's developed, that original like hunt into like working together. It's just been really great. And also a group star because I feel like everyone was actually really kind to the dame when she was having a bad time, even Potiphar, which was like, I don't know, it was really sweet, touched me a little bit. I do love a little family outing for Ross, forcing us all out there. Um, just your pure vitriol for Taggart was amazing. And seeing you trying to tear off your skin all night. Also, like a little bit like the props, like the hat covering your eyes a lot for like that last speech was like really good. I don't know if it was purely intentional, but like I loved it. Um, Malachi, you had two visuals that I really loved you describing this session on complete opposite ends of the spectrum. Count Potiphar tiptoeing around the like mess and excrement of all the patients in the hospital was kind of funny to me. And then the tarot you described for the dream sequence, the like the blood. Oh my gosh, that was so cool. I loved it. It was really great. Obviously, I ship it a little bit. The Obert was a sexy sword fight. I have a weakness. And then another star for my boner's gone. Um, Starts to Alex. The pure silence of Mr. Fig was so awkward and terrible. How delightful. And yeah, your Taggart was awful. Hated him. He was so like, bleh. um, oh my gosh! And calling back to Vera, I love seeing characters come back from a previous set. It made me realize that I want the Dame to go back to Cremore Gardens. So that's a wish for myself. Um, setting up the sword fight, Vera flirting with Viola. The complication of the fire in the townhouse, that was so spicy. I loved it. It was so good. Um,
At least someone did.
yeah, I loved watching it. I didn't want to be a part of it. But, and then other wishes. I do want to see more Flag. I feel like now that I've let the dame fully say goodbye to Theodora, she's going to start moving in on Flag, and I want to see more of him. Um, Sad to see characters go, but I am excited to see what hunters come next. Teaser, I do know what I will pick next for my next hunter. Um, I'm really excited to see the conclusion of the St. Petersburg Mirror, actually. It's been a fun threat. I like this one. And also this session was horny and it was great. I feel like we hit like the three tenets, which was like horny, a little funny, and then like the darkness of between. It was all great.
Horny, humor, horror.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect for Easter.
Yeah, well, you know what they say. He is risen.
I think I've rambled on enough. I think I've hit my points.
Hell yeah. Any other stars or wishes? Then before we go, once more, we see the interior of Madame Sorokin's seance parlor. It is daytime, but the curtains are drawn. All of her appointments have been cleared. This is a private meeting. She says, and that is what I have seen. Both the American and Count Potiphar have had their mark left on them by the void. And you already know much of the Dame Campbell Carter. And we see that sitting across from her is Flag, who sits there studying her face with his vacant dead eyes.
Yes, quite. I would like to hear more about the Bathories and their beast.